And welcome to the NDR podcast. I'm Pastor Tim Turney, aka PT. It's good to have you here today. And this is our program that we call Living and Learning with the Locals. And I have a very, very special guest, a good friend, and that I've really appreciate her and her husband's work. Her name is April German. April, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. Glad to have you here. So, let's just get into this real quickly.
Okay.
So, as I always do whenever I meet someone for the first time or whatever I'm doing, I always ask that they get into a conversation about everything we're going to do, and I say, "Hold it, stop. Tell me about yourself." And they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm doing work in here for this." I said, No. Tell me about you.
Yeah.
So, tell me about you.
Okay.
Some kind of your bio. Where you?
Okay. I grew up in Texas to begin with. I spent my elementary years there. And then my family moved to Florida. And so while I was in middle school, I lived in Florida.
Now, what part of Texas?
Pasadena. It's right outside of Houston.
Yeah, Pasadena.
In Galveston
Absolutely.
Island over there.
Right,
yes.
right.
And then Florida, I lived in Deltona. It was right between Orlando and Daytona Beach. Mm-hmm. So good place to live.
Yeah, it is.
And then in 8th grade, my family moved here. My mom was from Hanceville, and my dad was from Hartselle. So we moved back home where my grandparents were and all my family. Okay. And went to Hanceville High School.
So your grandparents were here in Alabama?
Yes,
were in
sir.
Hanceville?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to Hanceville
High School.
So that means she's a bulldog people. Bulldog.
But yes, bulldog. And I graduated in 1995. And then I went on to Wallace and got my associates there. And then I went to Athens and got my degree in special education and started working as a teacher, special ed teacher. And I've been teaching for 23 years now. And I also got my master's from the University of Alabama in administration.
Roll Tide!
Yes, which I will never use that master's.
You will never use it?
No, I will never use. I mean, I couldn't be a principal, but so,
yeah, that's I don't know if
I can't tell adults what to do. I can tell children.
Yeah, I don't know in this environment if I'd want to be a principal.
I know we have the best, thank goodness, and God love her though. But yes, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. I'm on my 23rd year teaching.
Now, where are all the places that you've taught at?
Well, I've been at Good Hope since 2003.
That means she's a Raider now.
Yes, I am I go Raiders all the way. My son played on the football team. This is his senior year. Yeah. Our youngest is in the band, so we spend many nights at the Raider football games. But I was at Hanceville, and I taught at Garden City for a little while. I taught at Welty, and I taught at Hanceville. And then that's when I was at Hanceville when I moved to Good Hope in 2003. Okay. So Hanceville was a little strange because I was actually teaching with my old teachers that I had in like high school.
Well, that's
and I wasn't the best student. And so they, they took great pride in hearing me complain about, kids not listening to me. And
it's kind of like a parent sitting back and watching their kids struggle with their kids, and you just sit back on the couch.
Yeah, going, like the grandparents. Mm-hmm. They're like, cry me a river.
Yeah, cry.
And I ate lunch with all my old teachers. So, it was kind of neat, surreal here at first. So
that's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit. We're talking about Victoria's Hope.
Yes.
So can you describe to me about Victoria's Hope? Tell me about you consider that's a ministry, correct?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, how did Victoria's Hope get started? What was, better yet, before you tell me how it got started, how did it begin in you? Was it in you or someone else? Was that something that was birthed in you? Did the light bulb go off in you, or?
Well, it was my mother. When I was a teenager, my parents divorced, and she became a single mom for a while. And, I just always remember her going without so we could have. Mm-hmm. And she remarried when I got a little bit older to a wonderful man. And, but, she would I always had I'm I forgot what they call it. But anyway, I like to give, I like to give, and I like to help. And I would talk to my mom, about going to Birmingham and doing these different ministries, helping with the homeless. And she's, and she just kept saying, well, I just, I feel like we need more local help around here. And to be honest, there was a group that had opened that was starting to help, any families, Karma and Cullman. I'll give them a big shout out. They're not, doing as much anymore because God love them, I know it's hard. And so they've been around for a long time. And my mother loved Karma and Cullman. She thought that was a great idea. So when I was going to take donations to different places, she was like, I wish you would take it there because that really helps people. So she always talked about wanting to start something where she could help single mothers get back on their feet. And but she passed away. It was just a whole week. We found out she had cancer in March of 2018, but it was stage 4 pancreatic. So by May the 8th, she was no longer with us.
Wow,
so
that's quick.
It was like 6 weeks. It was
devastating, isn't it?
Yes, to hear that news and then bam,
Yeah.
So after she passed away, I'm sorry, I'm a school teacher. Oh yeah, thank you for that water.
We'll have one of our gaffers to get a bottle of
She
water.
promised me some earlier.
Sorry.
I love Miss Lori.
Right.
We work together.
3, 2,
Sorry.
go.
Okay. So after she passed away, yes, it was take a drink.
Talk among yourselves.
Okay.
I'll give you a subject.
So, is that being? Are we still?
Yeah, we're still going.
Okay. I don't care if he did.
Oh, it's amazing what editing can do.
Oh, listen, this is why I don't do live videos. Everybody tells me I should be live, do more lives.
Well, I love lives.
Oh, I hate them. Oh, my anxiety. But after she passed away, I'm a school teacher. Well, it was the summer. I was, grieving my mother. My boys were getting older. They didn't want to go to the swimming pool with me anymore, or any of that fun stuff that we used to do. And it just hit me. And Ashley Wilson from Kurt's Closet had just opened up Kurt's Closet. And my mother, I remember her talking about that and how she just was, she loved that. And, I knew Ashley was serving the children. And so I thought, well, I'll get together some clothes for some deserving single moms and maybe get them some purses and, just kind of surprise them. So I just put this idea out on Facebook. Hey, tell me somebody you might know that might need some help, blah, 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 that's always doing for themselves and not other, and, never doing I'm not doing for themselves, that's never doing for themselves. Yeah. So I did that, and I got me some clothes for these women, and I put up some bags and got them delivered to them and surprised them, and it was great. And I thought I might do that every, so often. And word got out, and people started giving me donations. And I was very, very just happy about that, but I didn't have room to put them. I outgrew my garage, I outgrew my house, so I rented a storage unit for like 2 weeks, outgrew it. And I put out on Facebook, hey, I'd love to find a place to store this stuff, but I don't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
And that's when the landlords of this place that y'all are in contacted me. And I rented this basement, which is it's just so surreal. It was just weird being here.
Yeah.
I love it. For about a year. And so what I did was I set it up to where the mothers could come in, and we had all kinds of clothes by then. People had just started giving, and so we had kids' clothes, women's clothes, and they would come in here and just shop for free of whatever they needed. They would make an appointment, come and shop for free. And so that's really where it started, and that's what I thought that Victoria's Hope would just be me in this basement doing that, once or twice a week.
Right. Once or twice. Now, there's a little term that I don't know if I coined it, but I've used it for years. I call it, well, that's a little spiritual irony.
Yes.
I call that spiritual irony that our first really learning and living with the locals is going to be someone who did it here where we're doing our podcast.
That's what I told people. I could not wait. Is that not just a whole full circle, And I could not wait to see this place again, because it's literally been 5 years since I've been here, and it looks so different than when I was here. Yes. I had it all pink and purple-fied in here, lots of butterflies, and
well, I don't know if that would be. I don't know if that would be Well, I don't know appropriate. I don't know if that'd be too manly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you might.
We're going to have a lot of we have a lot of
butterflies.
musicians here. What we do on this grounds now with the different learning and living with the locals, we have our Bible podcast that we do, that we go out, and it's like, where's my northern star? If someone is lost, then we do like the ancient sailors used to use that the little compass apparatus, and they would find that northern star, and they can circumnavigate the globe with pinpoint accuracy. That is just astounding. It's fascinating to me.
Yes.
And that's one of the programs we want. If someone is kind of just off kilter, or they're missing it and they just don't know, well, where am I at? And that's one of the programs that we want to do that. And kind of, I look at Victoria's Hope being a ministry. That's there's so many people that's out there. You don't realize how many are just they're either hungry, or they're going, I really need some clothes, and I don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them will just have pride that they won't say anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to have something like this that ministers to the needs of people, and that's one of the reasons that my wife and I really thought, when I felt that itch to get back in pastoral ministry, but not a traditional kind. Right. Because some people all around here were going, so you're going to open up a church? I went, well, not the traditional sense, because I want to do something a little bit different. If we can take and bring light to what you're doing, I believe in that old saying, high tide lifts all boats.
Absolutely.
And the Bible says this, that if you want God to be indebted to you, you minister to the widows and the orphans. That means those that are in need, if I take care of that need, God's going to take care of mine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the Bible. So that's for somebody out there. You really feel that call, and jump out there. Don't be afraid of it, right?
No, it'll change your life. That's for sure.
But I thought, a little spiritual irony here.
I thought that the whole time. I was like, this is so weird that I'm back exactly where I began 6 years ago.
That's cool.
And almost to the day.
And then when we do our Circle of Fifths, which is a round circle of musicians, you can come here and play whatever instrument and sing if you want.
I love to sing. I'm an amazing
Do you play anything, or
singer.
Yeah?
No, I'm being very sarcastic. I do love to sing. Anybody that knows me knows I love to sing, but I love to karaoke. But my voice just, isn't the greatest.
It's not the greatest?
No.
We know karaoke is a Japanese term it's a word for bad singing.
Right. Well, I'm great at that. I am great at it. Just put me in front of a karaoke machine and I'm there.
All right. Well, we're going to move on a little bit more,
but
but before we do, I've got a sponsor that I want to that we want to talk about here with Track Sound Studio, but also pay attention here. We want to show you just a little bit of what's going on here with Victoria's Hope. Show you where the area is at, the building, and a little bit of insight about all the things that she has. What's your husband's name?
Craig.
Her and her husband, they work together. I like him. He's really nice. He's a cool guy.
I hear that.
Yeah, he looks like somebody. He looks like a jazz musician. Somebody else sit down with him. Does he play anything?
He plays guitar.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I can find him. Tell me. So just pay attention and watch this here, and we'll be right back.
We want to thank our sponsors for this program, Track Sound Studio. Track Sound Studio is located at 17 Williams Road in Good Hope, Alabama. Track Sound Studio will have state-of-the-art equipment with the best musicians that you can find around here. You can give a call to Keith Hudson or to Greg Quick at 256-841-1292 for all your recording needs. Track Sound Studio, remember when the chicken was lit, he was recording a hit. Let your dreams come alive here at Track Sound Studio.
So there you go. That's where it's going to be at. You got to see a little bit about the Victorious Hope on the inside, and so you make sure you follow this address that's right here, right above us, and tell you exactly where it's at. And there's a phone number that they can call for the ministry, and it's right here on the screen as well. And we'll also leave that on there, ticker towards the bottom of the credits. And so now as we're coming back,
disclaimer: when our phone is working, if not, email us on Facebook.
Okay. She's serious when she leans in.
Sorry. Yeah. Just had to put that out there.
So,
go ahead.
So as we come back from the break here, I wanted to ask you this question: what you, where are you wanting to go, and what do you envision Victorious Hope being for the future?
Well, like I've learned not to, make plans for the future because you never know what it's going to hold. But I would love to continue. I was able to give a scholarship last year to a student to go to Wallace, and I would love.
That's nice.
Yes,
that's really nice.
And it was nice because it was a student that I knew. It was somebody from Good Hope, So I was able to do that. And I would love to have done it this year, but it just don't look like it's, with the economy and everything else. It's just, it's hard.
It's out there. Somebody's listening. It's out there saying, you know what? We're going to put some
I would love to
together.
have be able to give one in May. I have, and I mean, that's something I've prayed about. We would love to do that every year. We would love to help financially. That's something haven't touched on, but a lot of our clients, have wanted help with like their power bills, and we can't do that.
Those are tough.
And we would love to have funds put back for things like that. We've always talked about our sponsors are the community. They're the people that keep us around. They're the people that help us with the overhead by shopping at the thrift store.
Yes.
So I just hope that we can continue to grow that way. And
now, you mind asking what would be an average scholarship that would help someone? Like if you're going to send, what
last year it was $1,000.
$1,000. Okay.
Yeah, $500 to $1,000 is usually what.
I remember one of my art directors for the studio where I was a songwriter in Nashville, and I was I was writing some songs. I said, I really got to get that one song. He said, don't sit at home stressing over trying to write a $10,000 song. Write me 10 $1,000 songs. He said, I can pitch the $1,000 songs easy for you, and you'll still accomplish. So we want to have some people that are watching get with Victorious Hope. What is $1,000? That's easy. Some of you just write the check right now, and 10 of you can write $100. We're going to get that scholarship. We're going to make sure that scholarship is coming in.
And it means a lot because some of the kids that I've watched these kids grow up, with me teaching, and I would love to do one at multiple schools, not just Good Hope. I just chose Good Hope because that's the one I teach at right now. And I mean, I have in the works for working with some ladies from some other ladies I've met through my ministry of doing a day of hope, where we're going to take one high school senior from each school. And we're going to take them and help them, get ready for college and things that if they don't have the means with a family member or anything to know how to apply for the scholarships, make a LinkedIn, write a resume, all that good stuff.
Right.
So that's in the works for the future, maybe in the fall.
Yep.
And
they're out there. Because I remember there was always this one. I've used it as an allegory before and used it for teaching, but it was something that was it built my faith in the Lord and trusting in Him that He can do anything He needs to do, wherever He needs to do it, however He needs to do it. Mm-hmm. He took something that was non-existent and made something out of it.
Right.
One of the songs I wrote for one of the biggest groups in the nation is called Something Out of Nothing. He has the ability to do something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. If you need something, it don't exist, give me a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll provide. I'll show you. Yeah.
Hold my lightning rod.
Right.
And I'm fixing to show you something.
Exactly.
He's able to do whatever he can do. Whatever he can do, he's able to accomplish that. But I remember a gentleman telling me about the grace of God and the favor of God in a story where he was at his bottom end. He was at his wit's end. He just didn't know what to do. And he said, God, I'm not leaving you. I'm not quitting the ministry. I'm not quitting the faith, but I just don't know what to do. And Lord led him to go to a specific rest area. It's a truck stop rest area. And he said, I went there and I said, well, maybe he's leading my heart, which is many times, to pray for someone. So I stood there and I waited. And a gentleman came up and was asking directions. He said, where is this at? And he told him, he said, okay, well, I'm supposed to be here. I don't know why, but God called me to come here. And so he opened up and said, well, I believe it may be for me because I prayed the Lord and he led me here. He said, did you? Well, I had this $10,000 check that I had to bring to someone. I didn't know who, but I needed to bring it. God is able to do that.
Yeah.
And of course I looked at it and I was floored. I'm going,
yeah, that's a lot
it's speechless.
Money. Yeah.
And this guy, it was nothing to him.
Right.
He said, I like doing this, but I wanted to make sure. He said, but it was just the strongest feeling. And he drove all the way from, matter of fact, I was thinking about this earlier as we were discussing it. I couldn't remember but he drove from Texas all the way to Mississippi to make that happen, to meet the guy.
And he didn't even know why he was
driving. Had no idea. He just knew I had to drive at this specific place and be there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen all the time with you, but I'm saying
wonderful.
It can happen. It will happen. Hey guys, that was the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming up very soon here. And just thank you for watching the program. And remember to go and support Victoria's Hope. They're doing a great work. And just want to let you know, follow the website, like us, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Part 2 coming up soon.